Today in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to crochet this round placemat. In the links in the description below, you can also find the video tutorial for the matching coaster pattern, as well as links to the written patterns and a list of materials needed. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to begin with making a magic ring. If any of the stitches I'm doing in this tutorial are going a little too quickly, you can find stitch tutorial links in the description below as well. Okay, so we're going to begin with a magic ring. You're just going to wrap the yarn around your fingers and let it cross over itself. Take your hook and go under the first piece, over that next piece, and gently scoop up a loop. Pull your hand out of the ring and pick up your working yarn. We're going to be sure to work over both pieces. So we're going to start with a chain 3 that's going to count as a double crochet stitch, and we're going to double crochet into the ring 14 times. So yarn over, push your hook right into the ring, yarn over and pull up a loop. You've got 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over and pull through the next 2. So we're going to go ahead and work, as I said, 14 double crochets into the magic ring, which would mean we have 15 stitches in total by the end of this round because the chain 3 at the beginning counts as a double crochet. So go ahead and work those stitches, being sure to work over both pieces, and then come back. All right, so now that we've got our 15 stitches, we're going to take that little tail end and pull to close the ring shut, and we're going to close this round with a slip stitch in the top of our chain 3 space from the beginning of the round. And we're going to start round 2. We're going to begin every round with our chain 3. That is going to count as a double crochet stitch. All right, so go ahead and work your chain 3 to start this next round. And we're going to double crochet once into that first stitch because the chain 3 counts as a double crochet. So technically this would be 2 stitches in the first. So 1 double crochet in that first stitch. And now we're going to go ahead and work 2 double crochets into the very next stitch beside it. Okay, so work your double crochet in there twice. And we're going to just repeat this all the way around. We're going to work 2 double crochets into every single stitch all the way around. And by the end of this round, you should have a total of 30 stitches. When you get back to the beginning, we're going to close with our slip stitch in the top of the chain 3 and then come back and I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so we're going to, as I mentioned, close that round with a slip stitch in the top of the chain 3, and we're going to start our next round with a chain 3 again, and we're going to double crochet once into the first stitch because that chain 3 counts as a double crochet. Now we're going to double crochet once into that next stitch and double crochet twice into the following stitch. Double crochet once into the next. And you're going to continue repeating this all the way around. So twice into the following, once in the next, twice in the following, once in the next. And you're just going to keep repeating this all the way around. Close your round with your slip stitch in the top of your chain 3. By the end of this round, you should have a total of 45 stitches. So go ahead and finish up working these stitches all the way around. And as I mentioned, close your round with your slip stitch and then come back and I'll show you what we'll do next. Okay, so now we're on round 4. We're starting with our chain 3 and 1 double crochet into that first stitch. And we're going to double crochet once into each of the next 2 stitches. We're going to double crochet twice into the following. And then we're going to double crochet once into each of the next 2 stitches. And you're going to repeat this all the way around. So it'll be, as I mentioned, once into each of these next 2, 2 into the following. Once into each of the next 2, 2 into the following. Continue going all the way around, and at the end of this round, you should have a total of 60 stitches. So when you finish this round, come back, and we'll move on to the next step. All right, so we're gonna chain 3 for the start of round 5, double crochet once into that first stitch. And then we're going to double crochet once into each of the next 3 stitches. And this pattern is pretty repetitive, as you can tell. We're just working our increasing rounds. So now after those 3, we're going to work 2 double crochets into that following stitch. 1 double crochet into each of the next 3, 2 double crochet into the following, 1 into each of the next 3, 2 into the following. And you're going to go ahead and repeat this all the way around. By the end of this round, round number 5, you should have a total of 75 stitches. Okay, let's go ahead and make our chain 3 for the beginning of round 6, and we are going to work 1 double crochet stitch into that first stitch, and then 1 double crochet into each of the next 4. Two double crochet into the following. Go ahead and repeat that all the way around. So 1 into each of the next 4, 2 into the following. By the end of this round, round number 6, you should have a total of 90 stitches. So go ahead and finish that round all the way around, close with your slip stitch in the top of the chain 3, and we'll come back to move on to round number 7. Okay, here we are starting our round 7 with our chain 3, 1 double crochet into that first stitch, and then we're going to double crochet once into each of the next 5 stitches. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to double crochet twice into the following. And you're going to go ahead and repeat this all the way around. By the end of this round, you should have 105 stitches, and then come back. Okay, so we're going to chain 3 to begin round 8. And of course, we're going to double crochet once into that first stitch. And we're going to double crochet once into each of the next 6 stitches. Three, 4, and 5, and one more, 6. And then we're going to double crochet 2 into the next. And you'll go ahead and repeat that all the way around. By the end of this round, you should have a total of 120 stitches. All right, so we're beginning our chain 3 for round 9. We're going to double crochet once into that first stitch, and then we're going to double crochet once into each of the next 7 stitches, and then of course 2 into the following, 1 into each of the next 7, 2 into the following, and you're going to continue all the way around. By the end of this round, round number 9, you should have a total of 135 stitches. So go ahead, and when you finish that round, come on back and we will move on to round 10. All right, so now we're starting round 10. We've already done our chain 3. We're going to double crochet once into that first stitch, and then double crochet once into each of the next 8 stitches. And we are still increasing because of course it's a placemat, so we want to keep it flat. We have to keep expanding. So after you finish those 8 stitches, we're going to double crochet twice into the following. Double crochet once into each of the next 8, twice into the following, once into each of the next 8. You're going to do that all the way around. By the end of this round, you should have a total of 150 stitches. So go ahead and finish that round and then come back and we will move on to round 11. We're almost done actually. Okay, so let's chain 3 for the beginning of round 11, which is our last increase round. Double crochet once into the first stitch, double crochet once into each of the next 9 stitches, and of course twice into the following, once into each of the next 9, twice into the following. And by the end of this round, round number 11, you should have a total of 165 stitches. And then come on back and we will move on to our last round of work. This is our last increase round, but now we're going to go ahead and work on the edge, the little fancy edge of our round placemat. So go ahead and finish that round, come back, and we'll move on to round number 12. Okay, so here we are in round 12. We're going to chain 3, and now in this first stitch, we're going to double crochet 4 times, remembering that that chain 3 counts as a double crochet. So technically we're going to have 5 double crochets here. We're working 4 into the first stitch, but that chain 3 is counting as 1. So now we've got our total of 5 stitches. We're going to chain 1, skip 3, and then in that 4th, we're going to work 5 double crochets. 2, 3, Just getting a little more yarn. 4 and 5. We're going to chain 1, skip 3 stitches, double crochet 5 times into that next one. You're going to just go ahead and continue repeating that all the way around. When you get back to the start of your work, we're going to still close this round with a slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 space right at the beginning here. Okay, so now we've got your tail end here after fastening off. I'm sorry I didn't show that part where I cut the yarn, but when I close my work with a slip stitch in the top of the chain 3, I just fastened off by cutting the yarn there, and you just saw me there with my tail end. I pulled the little piece through, and now I'm using my tapestry needle or yarn needle to weave the tail end in and out of a couple of stitches on the under part of my placemat just to hide and secure it. Go ahead and take your scissors and fasten that off, and you are done. I hope you've enjoyed this pattern. Let's take a look at our finished work and setting a place setting using our new round placemat. And don't forget, there is a link in the description below as well for the matching coaster. I hope you've enjoyed this pattern. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a look at the helpful links in the description below.